Is language restricted to humans? So, judging by newspaper and popular book, there appears to be a vast number of animals which talk. Talking budgerigars, talking dolphins, even talking fish, etc. So we know that a lot of animals, birds are said to be talking. But what type of talking it is? Is it the same talking which human beings do? Clearly, the word talk can be used in two different, totally different senses. To utter words, for example, if a parrot is trained, it may say, when you poke it, it may say, damn it. Or we have seen that certain parrots, after training, can utter a word or even a phrase, right? But the second meaning of talk is to use language in a meaningful way. Obviously, nobody would share this idea that these animals or birds do this second type of talking. Animals such as budgerigars can talk in the first sense of the word. Psycholinguists have the question, can animals talk in the second sense also? So here is the question. Interested in this problem because they want to know the answer to the following question: are we the only species which possesses language? So this is the main concern of the linguists. If so, are we the only species capable of acquiring it? Can an other animal or a bird can acquire it? So these are the questions. Are we biologically singled out as articulate mammals or not? So these are some of the questions which are put forward by the linguists. Do animals talk naturally? In order to answer this question, we must compare human language with animal communication. A comparison presents a number of perhaps unsolvable problems. The first problem is this: are we comparing system which differs quantitatively or qualitatively? So the human language and animal language has some different of quality or quantity. So this is the first thing. On the one hand, human language may have gradually evolved from more primitive animal means of communication in a continuous line of growth, a viewpoint sometimes known as continuity theory. I mean, they were the basic calls of the apes and chimps, etc., which gradually turn into Homo erectus, Homo sapien, and then human beings. So it is the theory of continuity. On the other hand, human language may be something quite different from our basic animal heritage, and superimposed on it a discontinuity theory. So it does not believe that these were the simple, human language was an evolution of the simple calls. The second major problem we face is that it is not always easy to decide what counts as communication in animals. As one researcher notes, students of animal behavior have often noted the extreme difficulty of restricting the notion of communication to anything less than every potential interaction between an organism and its environment. So for them, the linguists who study this communication, who notion of communication to anything, difficulty of restricting the notion of communication to anything less than every potential interaction between organism and its environment. So animals interact with their environment. A useful first step might be to attempt to define language. This is not as easy as it sounds. Many definitions found in elementary books are too wide. For example, a language is a system of arbitrary vocal symbols by means of which a social group cooperates. We can find that some of it is also applicable to the animals. The definition might equally well apply to a pack of wolves howling in chorus. A superficially promising approach was the suggested by linguist Hockett, Charles Hockett in 1960. So he designed feature. We discussed the design features in detail while we were discussing introduction to linguistics. So according to him, they were the characters of language. Use of vocal auditory channels, arbitrariness, semanticity, cultural transmission. So these are some different characteristics according to Hockett. They are some of them are exclusively the attributes of human language, while some of them are shared by animals as well. Finally, we come to birds. They also have failed to give us any evidence of creativity. They have restricted calls, and they are used in a certain restricted environment. We might expect them to communicate about a multiplicity of situations, since the individual notes of birds' song can be combined in an indefinite number of ways. But they are restricted to, obviously, to warning to their enemies and inviting their mates. But as far as researchers can judge, birds' songs deals above all with just two specific aspects of life: courting a mate and the marking of territory, warning their other animals not to interfere in their territory. A final crucial feature of language has to come to the forefront in recent years, and this is intention reading. So mind reading. As human being, when we are talking with other, we read their mind, and what this, before they say something, sometime we say what they are going to say. So this is of some feature that is not found in many of the animals. However, to some extent it is found in apes, right? Some limited awareness of it has been detected among apes, especially chimps. But humans are the best at this skill. Teaching sign language to apes was Ho and Nim. The early experiment of teaching language to the apes were met with failure, but the further study improved, and we can know that there are certain apes, chimps, etc., who have learned words even up to 100 and more. So over the past 50 or so, several attempts have been made to teach human language to chimpanzees, but fail. Chomsky may be right, therefore, when he points out that the higher apes apparently lack the capacity to develop even the rudiments of the computational structure of human language. Chomsky claimed that language is specific to human as only humans possess a language acquisition device to acquire language, that is the universal grammar. So it is only restricted to human beings so far, what experiments have shown.